Hello, beautiful beings. I hope you're well. My name is Dee. This is hilarious, guys. This is the fourth time I'm recording this. First time I went on 10 minutes and it stopped. Second time I went on about 3 minutes and it stopped. The third time I went to a full 6, 7 minutes and it stopped. Whoever this message is for, really, I'm trying so hard to get it out there for the collective. So today's download is, before you see, I'm even like, so okay, let me get myself. Want to say welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, welcome back, and thank you for exchanging your energy with us. The download for today that I got and we'll be exploring is: there is no one like you. Know your worth. Stand up. There is no one like you. Know your worth. Stand up and show up for yourself. Know your worth. Sorry, there is no one like you. Know your worth. I guess we highlight know your worth. Stand up and show up for yourself, which is quite interesting because when I was doing the third time, what stood up for me was stand up and show up for yourself. And now it's know your worth. So I think, putting those two together is like be there for yourself, stand up for yourself because what you really need to do is you need to work on yourself to be that, to know your worth, do the work that shows you who you are and your worth and understand who you are and your talents. And I think I did a video on that. Understand who you are, bring out your true talents because, the world is waiting for you. The world is your stage now. We're just waiting for you to show up and you really have to show up. It's time for you to co-create with the universe. And in a childlike manner, I guess, bringing that childlike aspect of yours, and I want to say, like, that inner child before, that time where your left brain and your right brain were in perfect harmony, where now you could use structure and logic and creativity all at the same time, where you know the big picture, you don't know the big picture, but you're kind of going on and you trust the universe, you trust where you're taken. And I think that probably is then the unique trait that you have, and the unique trait that you got to show the world is that ability to use both your logical part and your creative part of your brain in solving solutions, in solving problems. Um, there's a problem the world has, and the problem the world needs you to solve the problem using that beautiful brain of yours, using the beautiful mind of yours. And that mind is so beautiful that you get to observe, like you're so good at observing your thoughts. You're very mindful. You practice mindfulness. And with that you are able then to release emotions so that your logic says, oh, okay, I understand this and everything, and then that creative emotional part of you, that right part of the brain, is is so balanced that it can release emotions with ease. So you have this beautiful balance, of partnerships between your left brain and your right brain. It's almost like, I don't want to say it's almost like, it feels like it's a divine union within you, the divine union of your left brain and your right brain, which is basically your divine masculine and your divine feminine energies coming together, and that is what the what the universe is saying, that there is no one like you. Bring out that part of who you are, and know your worth when you have the ability to use both sides of those brains. Because when you then solve things, and I mean, the world has so many problems, is that we look at things differently, and you solve the world's problem differently. Because when the logical guys come, you give them the logic. When the creative guys come, you give them the creativity. And that's what's so unique about who you are. It's the magic you have inside of you. You're such a magical being. Um, that the universe is like, please bring out that magic. Please bring out, the earth needs it. You're one of the masters of the earth. You'll bring us divine independence. You'll free us. You'll liberate us with the way you think. Because the way you think taps into both sides of the world. It's in harmony. And what we need right now is harmony. We look at things logically, but also we look at things with emotion. We look at things, the creative aspect and the divine feminine and the nurturing aspects of it. But with also the logical structure and the way, we solve the problems, just me and my research part and me and my creative part, I guess. So the world is just saying, know that you have this ability to actually balance your mind, to actually balance the left brain and the left brain and the right brain of who you are. um Let me see what else spirit wants to say. And oh yeah, I don't know if I spoke about this. Bring that childlike trust that you have, because the universe then, when you have that, the universe will bless you. You'll get a lot of universal blessings, and that will bring you to the right path. And the universe is already saying you are on the right path. You do have all that you need to do this. You do have all that you need to carry out this mission, if I may put it like that. You know, you do everything, you have everything that you need to stand up for yourself and show up for yourself. And when I looked at the what kind of animal spirit, because I always love the animal totem spirits that you could have, what came out was the rhino. You know, the rhino has resilience, strength, creativity, confidence, and self-assurance. You know the rhino. It's big. It's there. It's present. It runs fast when it needs to run fast and gets to its goal. That it's there, it's present, and it's confident, and it's reassured. It doesn't need anything or anyone else to validate it. So it is there. So that's it's where the universe is saying, now stand up for yourself and show up for yourself, because we need that about you. Because there's no one like you. And if you look at a rhino, it looks like a unicorn, with that horn. You are the unicorn that the world needs. You are the unicorn, and the spirit and the energy that the being, the magical being that the world needs right now, with your left brain and your right brain. And I really think that the core thing is the ability to use the brain, and the way you use your brain is that you can have logic and creativity at the same time, and you can use them perfectly. As much as the world wants to box us, but you then have reached that state of equilibrium where you now are able to use both the divine feminine energy, I guess, in the spiritual world we call it, and the divine masculine energy, and make it flow and make things flow seamlessly. And that's the most important thing, is make it flow seamlessly, that you're not trying too hard. You're not trying too hard to reach, to do the things you need to do. And that, I guess that's so amazing. So I'm just trying to see which cards to use. That is so amazing, because it gets you to that part where when you do that, you got a light body, like your macabre is now activated, and now when you go and you connect to the grid, it's amplified. Everything is amplified. You shine, you shine brighter. You're gonna start attracting the things that belong to you, and I spoke about the universal blessings. You're gonna attract the people and the communities and the tribe, soul tribe, that will then come to you. The soul tribe that will then connect to you once you then know how to stand up and know your worth. I mean, you can use journaling if you want to know your worth, if you don't know right now. I mean, I think I put them now up down in the description box. I have workbooks that I have. You can visit my website and you can get the workbooks. I have workbooks from self-discovery, workbooks to money manifestation, knowing your worth, how to deal with your fears. So then you can start journaling, because I know I always had the issue of what do I write first. But this is at least guided. It guides you, but also eventually you'll get a free flow where then the universe just speaks with you and speaks to you. That way you'll start knowing your patterns, you start knowing who you are, you'll start knowing, okay, this is what I have to give to the world, and this is what I can give to the world. And that's where you know your worth and you stand up for yourself, because part of that, then that journey of journaling, that journey of going through workbooks, going through visualization techniques, going through meditation techniques, is you get to a point of knowing who you are, and truly knowing who you are deep down. Even doing tests like, for example, the Human Design Strength Finder. So there's a personality test. Is it MBIT or MBTI? I forget what it's called. Those in your natal chart, those are the things that will get to know who you are. But most importantly is when you collect all that information and get it into one, you will know your worth. You will know why you're here. You'll get that aha moment that then is your activation, or you are activating the world. But also, you're not just going to activate the world at the end. Every time you find out something about yourself and you ground it, and you surrender to that piece of information, you then go and you activate. You go and you connect to the grid and you activate um, your light, and you activate, because I mean, most of the people in the collective are light workers, are gifted beings, shamans, sangoma, traditional healers. Um, I don't know what they call it in other um, what do they call, in other countries, or in other spiritual. I don't want to say stuff. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. So I'll just call them what I know, the words I know how to use them, as spiritual people and light workers. Um, and all this leads you to a path. It leads you to a path where you have inner authority. It leads you to a path where you go inside who you are. You go into this maze, and I said, those journaling, find yourself and who you are, so that you eventually get to know who you truly are. You eventually get to know your worth, where your strength lies, where your creativity lies. Get to know what is it about you that's, you can harmonize a lot of things. Because I can say to you, you're good at using your left brain and your right brain. You're like, I know that's me. And then when I it's time for you to know, okay, what about that says this is me? Then suddenly you don't know. Like for me, it's I put everything into process because I was a researcher. I can research everything and I can put everything, but I'm also creative in how I do that research. And I remember part of my PhD where one of the examiners was like, yo, this is one of the most creative PhDs I've ever seen. I mean, even the simple thing like doing a statistical model was creative for me. I first saw the visual, then I was like, okay, I've got the visual. Now can we just test the visual? And I looked at my supervisors. They were like, this looks so hard. But I'm like, yeah, no, we'll get it. Don't worry. I'll do the logical part of that later. But the visual looks good. So that's what I'm saying, is that I can see the stats, I can see the logic, I can see the mathematics, but I also can see, the creativity and the model and the everything, and how we can make everything flow, and how we can make it, everything look more exciting with more color, I guess. So that's what I'm saying is that when you start doing the work and start knowing truly about you, just because in knowing your worth, in knowing who you are. And the one thing about me is that every test I do, balance, harmony, and peace are always up there. And it's just being in a state of equilibrium, and using all my abilities and using all the gifts and talents that I have all at the same time, and not making one and choosing one over the other one. Then I'm in equilibrium. Then I'm in the perfect state. So that's what I mean when I say know your worth and know who you are, and stand up and show up for yourself. Because what we don't do, we don't have that action where we show up for ourselves. We don't do the visualization. We don't do the work where it's like, okay, now I get to be creative. Now I get to be logical. Because then we learn, and then we move on. So show up for yourself. Say, today is my me time. I do have me time. That's me because I'm an African black woman. Washing your hair is like a thing. So my me time is Thursdays. I wash my hair. That's my thing. Showing up for myself. And then I do my hair. It's creative. And then there's logic of, okay, the rose. I'm just kidding. I'm just using hair now as an analogy. But you get my point and you get where I'm going with this. So in a nutshell, I think just wrapping up everything is Spirit is saying, know who you are, and don't just know who you are, but stand up for yourself. Like, let your energy be known, but not in a forceful way. Let your energy be known, uh, in the best way for you, in the most nurturing way for you. When you walk into a room and you walk into a restaurant and everybody, the people who've got that energy where everybody looks at you, and you have a fear of being seen. Don't have the fear of being seen. Allow it, accept it, and that's who you are. Because in you allowing it, it's because your energies are, you have such big energies and they're amplified, and because they don't come from the ego, is that then they start to shift the room. They start to shift the room, and that's when then you start having that moment of standing up for yourself, because now you're allowing that moment. You're allowing your ability to shift the room. You're allowing your ability to make movement within the room. And this stems from knowing yourself, knowing your thoughts, knowing that you're in harmony, with your logical side and your left brain and your right brain, knowing things about you, so the work that you've done, and knowing your unique qualities and traits that then enable you to be the person that can walk into a room and fill the room with so much love and nurture. Um, excuse me, and you literally bring the sun into that room. You literally bring the sun into that room, and that's what's needed of you, is you being the sun bringer, the joy bringer, and with that childlike state of you, because that inner child that sits in there is the most beautiful part of who you are. They're the freest and most liberated part of who you are. And so free that child. you know, and I see all of this is going to come very fast, very, very fast. Things are going to come fast for you where 1 minute you're going to pick up a piece of paper or journal, and the next thing you're writing, and you know who you are, and you're going to shift. You're going to feel the shift within you. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there today. Otherwise I'm going to blubber on. Funny enough, I got the last card that says, don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Don't dim to fit in, guys. You shine way brighter than you think you are. So when you walk into that room, done the work and everything, and everybody's looking at you. Yes, you might have that fear of being seen, but let your vibration speak for itself. Let your frequency speak for itself, and let it shift the room in the way that it shifts the room because it's so impactful. Remember, this is the vibration that goes back into the grid and shifts and makes changes into the grid, and that's the uniqueness.